to remember how it was with the Washington family from 615 Junior Street, Greensboro. And I'm Justin Washington. I'm here in Greensboro, North Carolina. My sister Wambui's in New York. And introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Wambui Bahati. When I lived at 615 Julian Street, and my birth name was John Ann Washington. I was named after my father. So my name today, and I'll explain that in another show, is Wambui Bahati, and I'm here in Harlem, New York City, with our older sister, Roberta, who is also here in Harlem, New York City. And then we have one brother down in North Carolina, where you are. Yes, Joel is down there. Okay, so enough about our family. All right, so each week what we do is we like to talk on something, as the title of the podcast says, remembering how it was. And so we like to get together and just talk about, I was born in 1950, my brother was born in 1957, and so we just like to talk about the memories we have and how things have changed, and some things more than others, but we never expected. I didn't expect this world that we have today. Okay, go, brother. What's the topic?
Okay. How are we going to do this? We're going to take it back to our memories in the house on Union Street, and like my first memories of electronic music, other than
we
singing
didn't give
church
the topic
music.
though. Tell me what the topic is.
The topic is music from vinyl to today. Actually, we're going to be just our memories as what we saw as music and how it grew to these things in your ear, to stuff like that. So
how we got this? You know what? Yeah. We can start. Let's start with this. Like, I never imagined that one day you would put your headphones. Actually, when we were very young, there were no headphones. Were there? Do you remember headphones as a child?
I don't remember. I remember headphones when I was maybe a teenager, maybe an older teenager, 18, 19. I remember headphones because the DJs, when I go to the club, they would have. DJs had something on their head.
Yeah,
and everybody wanted to be a DJ. But I want to say something. But since you started it here, we might have to take it back some. But the earphones in your ears. When I go, I'm a gym rat. I'm at the gym every day, and what I noticed in the gym, you could tell the age of people by what they're wearing, because you see older person, they will have a wired headset in to their music. A younger person is Bluetooth. And you can just see not that you're looking for, but you see an older person with a wire, a younger person without. And I was the guy for a long time with a wire till my daughters hooked me up to where I can go Bluetooth. And I'm saying like I know that I use Bluetooth. I don't know what it is, but I use it.
Well, you notice though how things change, and then they kind of change back. For instance, since we're talking about the earphones, how in the beginning, they were big. They were big. Bigger the better. And then they got smaller. Until you say we got like this, and then no wires, and then little things you could hardly even see. And now I see on the train, the cool people, the kids that call themselves cool, they have the big headphones now. So they, it's like now everything kind of like goes and comes in waves. So now it's almost, according to some of the teenagers, not cool to have this. It's cool to have, these big things over your ears. But I never remember this. If you wanted to just listen to your music by yourself, right? That just meant you needed to go in a room and turn it down, because there was, I don't know when this came. I should have looked that up. Somebody out there looked that up. When did earphones?
Yeah, but I remember earphones in the maybe the mid to late 70s, because like I said, DJs, I would go to the clubs, DJs use them, and then I used to. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take a pass. I'm gonna leave here some headphones, because I remember recording music on. I don't even know what I recorded on, because this cassette had to be a cassette. I had a little cassette box, little square box, like looked like a shoe box but flat. And I remember taking the microphone to that and just recording from the record player, and you had to hold the microphone to the speaker.
I remember doing that when I was young too. When the recording devices first came out, you just instead, if you couldn't buy that record right
Yeah.
then you would wait for it to come on the radio. Remember the radio?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't the radio?
But you know,
Wasn't the radio
but
cool?
yeah, I remember. But I remember Joel's. My brother Joel's the first person. You know, actually, it's in the same household. Who I had to see. But he was the first person I see that would start recording, and you put the microphone to the thing,
Right in front of
and
the
it just
speaker.
right in front of the speaker. Say, I got this song. And he recorded the song. Then you had a song on that wasn't a cassette player. Well, it was cassette players like the first cassette players. Remember the ones you just talk on? It was still amazing. You talk on it and rewound it back. It was the same
Yeah,
cassette. As it
yeah, it
got
was a
later on,
cassette.
it had a different meaning and grew as time went on. But you just had that little home cassette, and you would talk on it. And you'd be so amazed to hear your voice.
Yeah, it was like just a yeah. I remember the little flat thing. Anyway,
Yeah,
and you just pushed and that was like that just seemed so advanced to
yeah,
be able to
yeah,
record your voice on something. It was like, oh look, I'm recording, and you pretend you're
yeah,
singing something and play it back, and that was yeah, we had no idea what was coming down the pipe as far as the
yeah,
technology. Here's something too I want to just kind of put in there, because I've heard from several reliable sources that what we see today as technology and how things are unfolded, that already exists like 50, even 100 years prior, and
yeah,
we're just
yeah,
now getting to see what it is. So can you imagine what is out there for us
yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. But
Um,
one thing I used to think was so amazing, and I got one. But the reel to reel, it was a reel to reel music had these big old reels, and it was like it looked like a Mickey Mouse head, and it played music. You could record for hours and hours. And actually, I used to record for hours and hours just to listen to this thing for hours and hours. So I could say, I could be like I was say, man, I got a reel to reel.
Yeah, I think
You
the
know,
recording studios had reel to reels, and if you made a demo or something, you'd walk away with this box with your big old reel in it, and you'd have. I remember walking away with a box. My demo was in this box, and
yeah,
it was
yeah,
on a reel
yeah,
that was about that thick, and that was my
yeah.
recording. Um, yeah, so the first time downloading music and the concept of that, what did you think? I remember the first time I heard that there was such thing as downloading the music. I was scared to do it because I'm thinking this must be illegal. This can't be
Well,
for real.
something
Because
happened. I think something was like say I was slow on technology, and they had this thing, and you could download an MP3 player. And actually, I had when Doris.
you mean
Actually,
download
I
the
got one
MP3
music to
recording.
the MP3. Yeah,
And
I didn't. Go ahead.
no, and then I just trying to. What were those things called? They were like the little pocket things, like iPhone,
I
iPad. I mean, iMac.
there's like
What were
there's like an
those
MP.
little
There's a
recorders
little
where
thing.
you would download your
Yeah,
music?
you know what? You know what? Now we flip flopping. There was a device that
We are flipping.
there was a device that actually I have a couple of them that you to record. Like say you go into a meeting and you have this little bitty cassette and you put in this device and you can record your meeting without
Yes,
taking
but
notes.
I'm talking about songs, popular songs, and popular artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that means we can't think. We that
No, no, you had
there was
you had
some
the
they used to
MP3
sell
player.
these little
It was
things where you just it was like like a phone, only it
you
was
talking about the
just
Walkman?
well there was the Walkman, but there was I
I know the
okay the
MP3
people
player. That's
the
what I can. That's
iPhone
all I can come up with.
the iPhone people made it, and I just feel so
iPod,
stupid right
the
now because I
iPod.
can't think of the name of that. It's like it was like a little phone, but it wasn't a phone. It was just for music. But see, you may have
Yeah,
missed that whole.
yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I called it MP3 because I know I use it at the gym. My daughter showed me how to download music on it, and I had all my songs because I'm a Temptation guy. Michael Jackson guy. Now
Yes,
all
it
this
was.
thing. Now I would put my wired thing in there and listen to it, have it in my pocket while I work out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I can't think. Okay, so I'm trying to think of the specific name that I remember. You had to go to the iPhone store to get it, and it had a
yeah,
specific
yeah,
name. And but anyway, yeah. So I just remember that just seems just. Oh, here's the thing too that I
okay,
remember. I had one of those, and I had
uh,
downloaded a lot of music, and by then you would pay like $1 or whatever it was to get your song.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah,
there was really no way to hang on to it. Like if your computer crashed or if you lost your device, you
yeah,
weren't able to get that music back. That's what I recall. I recall just
yeah.
I didn't know how to hang on to the music
Well,
once I downloaded it into this device. That I, if the device broke, this sounds silly. Okay, go ahead, brother.
no,
Talk
no,
about.
show me. But I remember sitting around mainly my oldest daughter. She was about maybe 2 or 3 years old, and I would put headset on her. I put a headset on myself, and I would record music. I record songs off my albums. I guess they called it. I was making a mixtape, and
Yeah,
I record one song. Then I was like a DJ. Then I'll take it off, and like we'll find another song, and you had to put the pin on just right and get this
yeah.
song and time. You had to make sure that you did. I made a bunch of tapes. Like I said, I wasn't a DJ, but I made everybody from my era made tapes at one time. They were so proud of your cassette tape, man. This is my jams right here. This is what I got.
Right.
If you make a good one, somebody say, let me borrow that. I want to record it. I want
Yeah,
that.
there, and then bootlegging became a
Oh,
popular, and it was popular because I guess the record companies couldn't figure out how to get everybody agreed. But the only reason I believe bootlegging was successful was because it could put a whole different bunch of artists on one tape,
yeah, yeah,
and so because sometimes you'd buy a album back in the day, and it was really only one or two songs on there that really you like playing.
yeah.
So you'd play that one or two songs over. So what the bootleggers did was they took people's favorite songs, and they were able. You could buy one
Well,
record, one
That's but that's what
tape.
that's what the here the best place. Everybody has a bootleg guy. I had a bootleg guy. They kind of getting put out of business because of technology. But the bootleg guys, you go to the flea market, and it's always some guy with a bunch of music disc. He would sell you the disc. Uh, when I visited you in New York, you could walk up every other block here, somebody selling music, and there was actually
Hmm.
guys that when I visited you, there were actually guys I encountered that you would give them your instrument, your phone, your player, your iPod or whatever it is, and they would down for a price. They would download everything to the
iPod.
iPod for it. That's
That's
what I
what I
kept
was
saying
trying to
earlier.
think of.
I
iPod.
said that's what I kept saying that iPod. They would download everything to your iPod for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then you have your
So
iPod loaded. And I used to love that when I be on the plane, the train, the iPod, and I go to the gym. That's what I use in the gym. Go to the iPod, I'm gonna clarify. I would say MP3 and iPod. I think they're the same thing. So it depends on.
well, MP3 player. It was an MP3 player, but I just
Yeah,
remember that specific name, and
yeah.
I actually
So
can see how it looked. Had a little dial in the center.
the little dial in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah. So
yeah. Because I had one about the size of my phone. Then all of a sudden I got a little bitty one that I used to carry
okay. Yeah.
around.
They kept getting smaller and smaller,
It
like
kept getting small.
everything. Small, like the
Yeah.
phones got smaller and smaller. Now the phones are
Well,
getting bigger and bigger.
well, like
Yeah.
I remember CDs. I remember
Right.
trying trying to listen to a CD, what's it called a Walkman CD player. I
Yes.
remember people
Yeah.
have a Walkman CD. I mean, yeah, I think I had one. Matter of fact, I
Yeah.
got one. I know I don't throw away anything. I got one.
Now, Marie, my oldest daughter, bought a Walkman for each of my granddaughters for Christmas. She wanted them to have that experience of the Walkman, trying to get them away from the screens and the, all the
Yeah.
5G, 3G, all that. So she bought them a Walkman and bought them some CDs so they could
Yeah.
travel with that. And yeah,
That's hard though, because I remember that thing. I remember that seat thing in my car because it came out, and I'll be riding it, but I always would jump around. It was always missing songs, or missing songs, or just jumping. It was always, but people, you had to have this. It was a cheap version of the CD player that they had in cars, which don't the cars don't have CD players anymore.
well, I
Every,
think they were still trying to get the technology right, and they just when we were first got them, because if we remember if you're the first to get anything, it's gonna first VCRs,
yeah.
the first phones, the first yeah. I think they're still trying. They were trying to get it right.
I'm gonna tell you something. Like I know around the house, sometime I'll be looking for whatever, and I'll find a cassette tape, and I like this
Yeah,
cassette tape was the bomb, and like,
yeah.
but I can't listen to it. I don't have I got a cassette player, but I have to dig it
Do I
out.
have a cassette player?
Cassette because I don't have a cassette player in the car, but I do have a cassette player. Actually, I still have my boom box. I got a boom box with the speakers, the things that you walk around with. I never was one of the guys who
Mm-hmm.
walk around with one, but I got one. I got the boom box.
You
But
got
you know,
now.
that was like
Here's
a
I have
go
some
ahead.
pet peeves living here in New York. Things that just really irk me. One of them is walking behind somebody who spits on the sidewalk. But I won't go into all my pet peeves.
Okay, okay.
But my biggest pet peeve is we are in the age of technology, and still these people have these boxes. Some guys have them on their bicycles, not their motorcycle, their bicycles, and they just blast this music and play the music all loud. And I'm always thinking, do you not know we have earphones now? But they'll get on the bus and they'll have all this, and these giant just play it, and like you supposed to enjoy their music, that
Well,
they're booming. But
I'm gonna tell you. I guess it's the pet peeve. I didn't know it was till you mentioned that. But this happens all the time. When I go to a gas station, and somebody will pull up and they're playing their music loud, 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 loud as crap. They're just playing it loud, and they leave it on. They go when they go pay for the gas. The music's loud, and they got this. I must say it's a cheap speaker. The car's just booming. It's just doing this stuff. But it's like I don't know if they're trying to prove to the other people getting gas that they have music in their car, or I don't know what the deal is with that. It's like,
yeah,
why is
that's what
that?
the
Why?
thing is. So why are you doing that? Why?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Or same thing. You pull up to a stoplight and somebody pull up beside you, and the music's loud as crap, and you see them in the car. It's like you. You got to be deaf. You must be deaf because everybody's hearing it, but you. Everybody's hearing this, but you.
Everybody's hearing it but you, and it's just a lot of times it's just music that I'm not really into. A lot of this heavy rap, I was
Yeah,
never into that. So,
yeah,
yeah. So, but I just never understood why, if they wanted to impress somebody, it seemed like you would just have the most impressive earphones to show, look at me. But
yeah,
they just
yeah.
play the music out
Yeah,
loud,
yeah.
and
But you know, for far as the way music is received now, I have Sirius XM in my car, and that you can listen to pretty much any genre of music that you want to listen to. And I found out that my genre of music that I love to listen to is there's LL Cool J has a station, Rock the Bell station. He plays old school rap, and I love old school rap. I like it's a lot of you could tell the change because
the
like it
old
was a lot of
school, yeah.
it was a lot of empowerment. It was like empowerment.
In the beginning,
Then went from
yeah.
then went to party. Then it kind of left me because like when it
Thug, it
left the
went to the
party, it was
thug like
empowerment.
most.
It was party. It was party empowerment. Then it just took off in the direction that I'm like okay, but I like the old school rap. I like the old school rap.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
So,
that's my pick because everybody finds the music. Everybody got a genre that I like. Because I got a lot of friends who just listen to old school R&B, and that is great. I have a friend that passed away now, but I remember he had a humongous album collection. He used to love old school R&B. Uh, just all the singing. When rap came out, his life stopped. He just stopped, man, because like even music videos. where like somebody was singing. We was at his house, people singing and brass construction, funk music. Remember
Hmm.
funk. Everybody knows funk. But like for my friend, funk was his last genre, and like that's all he would listen to for funk and back. You know,
Yeah, I was like that. I only listened to what they call soul music. I was like Motown, and then I would go to
yeah,
R&B, smooth R&B. Uh,
yeah.
oh my God, what was that show that used to come on at midnight that played smooth? It was just smooth R&B for all night.
Quiet
The
storm. Radio,
Quiet
quiet storm,
Storm,
quiet
Quiet
storm.
Storm.
Yeah,
That's all I would listen to, and now I don't listen to too much secular music at all. I must say,
yeah,
but that was my thing. I was just R&B down, R&B down. I didn't want to
yeah,
even know
yeah,
about anybody else. And I used to love to go to see the OJs, all those old groups that
yeah,
I shouldn't call them old groups. They were older groups. The older,
yeah,
that's not an
yeah, yeah.
insult. That means that you were before the new groups.
No, I was thinking because our topic was the evolution from vinyl to that, and the evolution was in our home we had that big floor model record player
Console.
that flipped the top and put the music
Right.
in there, and
Yeah.
uh, and that I mean you know what I don't think Mama in our house that was it when we got rid of that we just had a record player. Well, how did we ever get rid of that thing? Did it have
Yeah, we
forever?
did eventually because I
Yeah.
remember a chair was there in his place eventually. A chair
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But we got one of those. Remember those little stack record players where it had the record player, the cassette player, then something else. It was like this
That's right.
tower
That's right. That's right.
of
That's right.
something
That's right.
that you could
Yeah.
use to play whatever it is you wanted to play.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could
Yeah. Yeah.
you could
Oh,
play that.
something that I used to do, and was when you have like you can get probably about 4 or 5, uh, or 45 records, and you can do it with albums too. And you would put it on this thing in the stereo, this little stick. You would put the records on, and one record would play, the thing would move, and the next record would fall down.
Yes, we had that. We thought, now see that
Yeah.
when we were young, we thought that was the new technology that we
Yeah.
thought we
Yeah.
had arrived. So yeah,
Yeah.
that you could, like that little spindle, like
Yeah.
the size
Yeah.
of a toilet paper roll, the inside of
Yeah.
the toilet
Yeah.
that paper,
Yeah.
and yeah, you put your 45s. Well, they could do that with the albums too, the
You can do it with
33s,
albums too, but
and we
yeah,
just
you can listen.
thought, wow, what will they
That
think of
record would drop.
next?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have to get up. Yeah, yeah.
So, so,
But Joel was
so
the
we had
but
talked about some of these things we have touched on before in
yeah,
a previous podcast where we talked about music, but we just wanted to revisit this and talk more on the technology side,
yeah.
vinyl to.
I hope we hit the technology. I hope we talked about
But
but I'm gonna
yes,
tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. But I'm gonna go back to our brother Joel. He
okay.
was he like he was used to be in the room. Man, he used to play, man, James Brown. He used to play his music loud back in the bedroom. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
one time he used to play the same song. Sometimes play the same song over and over again. I guess he was trying
Uh
to chord out. I don't know what he's doing. But I remember one time Mama said, fussed at him about let the music play. Every time it gets good, you start it over again. Something like that. Something like that. But he would be like playing aloud, but he was good. He was good. And
Well,
he was the first one
sometimes
I
then
saw.
you just have favorite songs, like, because
Yeah.
I was pretty much like that, even when we got to CDs. If there was a
Yeah.
song that I really liked, I just wanted to hear that song, and so I would just like keep sending it back
Yeah.
to that, because it was like, oh
Well,
yeah, I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again.
I'm gonna tell you something that was difficult. The CDs, you could do that in my car because was doing a lot of driving to it back and forth when I was in the military. But the CDs was pretty much perfect. But the cassette players, uh, to rewind that, you couldn't get. You had to rewind it kind of put a button to rewind it, and you always would miss the start of the song or not get right. So you like
Yes.
you battle to get it to the start of the
Yeah,
song.
because you could go forward and back, but you didn't know exactly where
Where
it
to
was
go?
going
Yeah,
to start. Yeah, that was.
yeah, yeah.
So
Because
here's what we need to do, brother. Though we need to start because our podcast is aired on what is the Greensboro Community Cable TV? What is it called?
community channel, Greensboro Community Channel,
On what? When is it
Spectrum
aired? On
TV
Sunday nights?
channel Sunday nights 8:30, 8:30, and it runs on Friday evenings at 6:30
Oh,
on the
I didn't
public
know
channel
that.
here in Greensboro. Yeah,
Okay, so they have a length specification that we have to meet, which is 28 minutes. So
28
right
minutes.
now
Yeah.
we need to really wrap up right now. Usually, always
Okay.
though, I have to cut something out just to fit it in there. So I
Yeah.
always say if you want to see the whole podcast without anything being taken out, then you can go to YouTube. If you're on
Spotify.
Rumble, you can go to Rumble, or we have a website called rememberinghowitwas.com. And so you can, and also Spotify,
Yeah.
if you would just want to hear it. So anyway, I wanted to say that and say,
Okay.
any last words so we could,
No, just want to wrap it up because yeah, we are at our time. So like they say, wrap it up
okay.
and sing music and whatever. The wrap up music, bring it in slow, and we're all right.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. Thank you
So
for watching.
on that note, thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that you'll be notified when we do a new podcast. So each week we try to come through with something different. And if you have any suggestions of things that you would like for us to talk about, please let us know. Okay? On that note, last word, brother?
I'm good. Bye bye.
You're good? All right. Peace, everybody. Thank you.